The morning rush at Bright Bean Cafe in Seattle was louder than usual, machines steaming, cups clinking, customers chatting. But amid the noise, one young woman stood silently near the counter, her hands trembling slightly as she glanced up at the menu overhead. Her name was Ava Sterling, the only daughter of billionaire tech investor William Sterling. She was 23, graceful, intelligent, and completely deaf since birth. Despite her family's influence, Ava hated special treatment. She wanted to order her own coffee, speak for herself, live like everyone else. But crowded places overwhelmed her. People didn't know sign language, and every failed attempt reminded her she was different. Today wasn't any easier. She stepped forward to order, tapping the counter gently to get the barista's attention. The barista turned, smiled politely, and waited. Ava opened her phone to type, but the screen froze. Of all moments, it froze now. She panicked. Customers behind her sighed. One of them whispered loudly, what's taking her so long?" Ava's cheeks flushed with embarrassment. She tried pointing to a cup, then at the menu, but the barista misunderstood completely and started asking verbal questions she couldn't hear. The world felt like it was closing in, again. Then suddenly, she saw movement in the corner of her eye. A man stepped beside her, about 30, wearing a simple work uniform with a logo that read, City Maintenance Services. He had warm brown eyes, a tired but kind smile, and a little girl of about 7 holding his hand. What caught Ava's attention wasn't his entrance, but his hands. He was signing, slowly, clearly, gently. "Are you okay? Do you need help?" Ava's eyes widened. Very few strangers ever used sign language with her. She signed back shakily. "I can't order. My phone froze." The man nodded and smiled. He turned to the barista and signed and spoke at the same time, bridging 2 worlds with ease. "Hi. She would like an oat milk caramel latte, medium, extra warm." The barista nodded, impressed. Ava stared at him, almost forgetting to breathe. He signed again. "My name is Ethan." She signed back. Ava. Beside him, his little daughter, curly hair bouncing, signed clumsily but excitedly. "Hi Ava." Ava's heart melted. The little girl wasn't deaf, yet she knew sign language. "You taught her?" Ava signed. Ethan nodded. "She loves languages. And, my late wife was deaf." Ava's expression softened. She understood immediately. The barista handed her latte. Ethan paid before she could protest. She quickly signed. "You didn't need to do that." Ethan smiled warmly. "You looked stressed. A coffee isn't a big deal." But to Ava, it was. Someone cared. Someone understood. Without pity, without awkwardness. Just kindness. The unexpected connection. Ethan and his daughter, Mia, moved to a table. Ava hesitated, then approached. She signed shyly. "May I join you?" Mia clapped happily. Ethan pulled out a chair. Ava sat, still glowing from relief. She signed. "You sign better than most professionals." He shrugged, slightly embarrassed. "My wife and I used sign at home. After she passed, I kept teaching Mia so she'd never forget her mom." Ava's heart tightened. She wanted to apologize, but Ethan signed quickly. "Don't. It's part of life. And meeting someone who uses sign, honestly feels nice." Ava smiled for real, something she didn't do often with strangers. A billionaire enters a coffee shop. The door to the cafe opened again, and a man in an expensive suit hurried inside. Several security guards followed. It was William Sterling, Ava's father, powerful, respected, always busy. His eyes scanned the room anxiously until he spotted her. "Ava," he exclaimed, moving toward her. She stiffened. He meant well, but he always hovered too much. He kissed her head, then frowned when he noticed Ethan and Mia. "Sweetheart, your guards said you wandered off alone again. You know that's not safe." Ava cut him off by signing sharply. "Dad, I'm fine. I was ordering coffee." He sighed. "You know ordering is difficult for you. You should have waited for Mia for help." At that moment, Ethan placed one hand on his daughter's shoulder and politely stepped back to give them space. But Ava didn't want space. She signed firmly. "I did order coffee. Because someone actually understood me." Her father blinked in surprise. Ava motioned toward Ethan. "He helped me." In sign language. William Sterling looked at Ethan again, this time with curiosity instead of suspicion. You know ASL?" Ethan nodded. "Yes, sir. And you helped my daughter when she couldn't communicate." It was nothing, Ethan said gently. Just doing what I could. William stared for a long moment, then did something Ava did not expect. He smiled. Thank you, he said, genuinely. You have no idea how much that means. Ava saw Ethan shift awkwardly, unused to praise from Billionaires. He picked up his tool bag. I actually need to get to a job site. Wait, Ava signed quickly. Will I see you again? Ethan looked at her, then at Mia, then back. We come here every morning before school. Ava nodded slowly. I'd like that. A new beginning. The next morning, Ethan and Mia arrived at the cafe, and Ava was already sitting at a table, practicing new sign words on her iPad. She looked up and signed beautifully. Good morning. Ethan smiled. You practiced. He signed back. She nodded proudly. Day after day, they met at the cafe. Ava taught Mia more signs. Ethan shared stories from his life as a single dad. Ava opened up about growing up lonely despite wealth. They learned each other's rhythms, jokes, quirks, silences. And for the first time in years, Ava felt seen. Not as the billionaire's daughter. Not as the deaf girl. But simply as Ava. The moment that changed everything. One evening, as the cafe was closing, Ethan signed. Ava, you're strong. You're independent. You're amazing. You don't need anyone to speak for you. Ava looked into his eyes, her heart pounding. She signed. But I like speaking with you. Ethan took her hands gently, signing slowly, sincerely. Me too. Mia ran over and hugged Ava's legs. And in that small, warm cafe, what started as a simple act of kindness became the beginning of something beautiful. A connection built not on sound, but on understanding.